The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "Make purses for yourselves that do not wear out, an unfailing treasure in heaven, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Be dressed for action and have your lamps lit. Be like those who are waiting for their master to return from the wedding banquet, so that they may open the door for him as soon as he comes and knocks. Blessed are those slaves whom the master finds alert when he comes. Truly I tell you, he will fasten his belt and have them sit down to eat, and he will serve them. If he comes during the middle of the night or near dawn and finds them so, blessed are those slaves. But know this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour." The Gospel of the Lord. Today's second reading gives a lengthy exposition on the deep faith of Abraham and his wife Sarah. They lived somewhere about 1750 years before Christ. They were nomads who began down in Ur in Chaldea, which is today part of modern-day Iraq, just a remnant in the desert, no more community there anymore. They ended up going up, as nomads often do, following the Euphrates River, and then coming back down near to the Mediterranean, as nomads will do, always trying to stay close to water. And while they were on the eastern side of the Mediterranean, in the land of Canaan, this old couple, without any children, at least not childborn to both of them. A child had been born to a slave woman with Abraham, but not to his wife, received a mysterious promise from God that the land on which they were standing would one day belong to his descendants, of whom he had none, and that those descendants would be so numerous that they would be more than the stars in the heaven or the grains of sand on the sea. Now, if Abraham and Sarah had any sense, they would have immediately dismissed this as too much heat, not enough water in the desert. But that's not what they did. They believed. They believed that somehow, even though they wouldn't live to see it fulfilled, that somehow the Lord who had spoken to them would be faithful. And they conceived a son, Isaac, at least the beginnings of a possibility. And then they passed from this world still holding on to that faith. And as crazy as that promise was, and as crazy as they must have seemed to themselves for paying any heed to it, now, some approximately 3,700 years later, more than 4.25 billion people on the face of this earth, more than 1/2 of all the people on the face of this earth, belong to the faiths of Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, faiths which consider themselves all to be in some spiritual sense part of the descendants of Abraham and Sarah, and heirs to that ancient promise. You can say what you like, but 4.25 billion people today join with Abraham and Sarah in giving thanks and holding on to that promise that was given to them.